Wuhan, China, home of the worst reviewed farmers market on Yelp. It has been 8 months since the coronavirus began spreading in Wuhan, but now things are back to normal there, and the people have decided it's time to celebrate.
We're going to turn now to these stunning images out of Wuhan, China. Take a look, a massive concert and pool party right there in the virus's initial epicenter. The city hasn't reported any new cases since mid-May, but you can see there are thousands of partygoers there at a water park for an electronic music festival, packed close together, no masks. You'll remember Wuhan was on lockdown for 3 months, one of the strictest in the world.
Okay, look. I understand that Wuhan has had no cases in months, so on the one hand, sure, enjoy your party. But on the other hand, the rest of the world does have a shitload of coronavirus cases, and Wuhan is the place that started it. I'm just saying, man, if your house catches fire and then the whole town burns down, it's okay if you rebuild first. I can't hate you for that, but you don't throw a house party while we're all still sleeping on our front lawns. Maybe it's just me, but it feels a little tasteless to have a pool party in the ground zero of a lethal pandemic. What are they gonna do next? They're gonna hire a Corona mascot?
Hey kids, it's me, Corona, and I'm coming for your grandpa.
I will say though, at least this gives us something to look forward to. I can't wait for the time when you don't have to worry about Corona anymore. And it's safe to go out and catch all the normal diseases that you catch at water parks. Because I don't care what anybody says, a pool is just a giant bathtub that's also a toilet. New Zealand was the first country to declare itself COVID-free. But now, after 3 months of no corona, the land of hobbits is back in emergency mode.
Overseas, the Prime Minister of New Zealand has delayed the national election for 4 weeks after about 50 people were infected in Auckland. That's the country's biggest city. Before the new outbreak, New Zealand had gone more than 100 days without any known community spread.
Yes, New Zealand is now delaying its national election by 4 weeks because of an outbreak of 50 people. And I know 50 people doesn't sound like a lot, but that's like a third of their population. Yeah, they have 150 people and 27 million sheep. And this is the one difference between America and other countries. Like, other countries are loose with their election laws, They're like, yeah, let's do an election in a month. We can delay it, whatever. But America doesn't play those games. America treats election laws like God told them directly to Thomas Jefferson. Elections must be the first Tuesday after the first Monday of November. Never in December. Because that's my son's birthday. Not January or February. It's like really cold. March is for basketball. We all know that. April is for fools. Ha ha ha, get it? And then in May, that's like summer, and we don't do shit in summer. So yeah, I'm thinking November. What do you think, Tommy? Now, at the same time, I can't front. America's system rarely protects democracy. Because if you have laws that are too loose, and then you get the wrong leader, like, say, a Donald Trump, which I know would never happen, that can cause chaos. Because best believe, if Donald Trump could postpone the elections because of coronavirus, he would be testing through the roof. Hell, he'd probably pretend to get coronavirus every single month. Guys, I'm afraid we're gonna have to postpone the election for 2 more years. Cause that feeling when you're not sick, but you're gonna be sick? That's totally me right now. Sickish, but not, but totally sometimes could be. Okay, bye-bye. The Republican National Convention, the first and only time Donald Trump has renewed his vows. And going into the convention, I thought it was going to be tough for Donald Trump to sell himself for another 4 years. Mostly because, we live in a plague-scarred hellscape where 180,000 people have died and we can't go to a movie or hug our grandparents. But then, I watched the convention. And guys, it turns out that Donald Trump has actually done a really good job by preventing all of that from happening.
From the very beginning, Democrats, the media, and the World Health Organization got coronavirus wrong. One leader took decisive action to save lives: President Donald Trump.
The president quickly took action and shut down travel from China.
Donald Trump's quick action and leadership saved thousands of lives during COVID-19.
President Trump truly moved mountains to save lives, and he deserves credit.
Just imagine what 2020 would have looked like, fighting for your life without Donald Trump fighting for it too.
Imagine what 2020 would have been like without Donald Trump. Hey, do you want to go eat dinner inside a restaurant? Okay, cool. I'll see you then. You're right. That would have sucked. Essentially, they're trying to convince everyone that this massive failure is actually a massive achievement, which is not something normal people do when they apply for a job. I see on your resume here, it says that you crashed a car into Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, dude. But it would have been like a lot worse if Joe Biden was driving. And it's especially crazy, considering that at the last RNC, all they talked about was the 4 dead Americans in Benghazi. But now, they're acting like Trump did a great job by only having 45,000 Benghazis. But I guess it's true. Without Trump taking any action, millions more Americans could have died. So good on Republicans for seeing the glass of bleach half full. Trump finds himself down big in the polls to Joe Biden, in large part because of his handling of the coronavirus. It has been an absolute disaster. So now, Trump is trying to change that perception with some fresh blood.
President Trump has announced an emergency authorization for a coronavirus treatment that his administration hails as a, quote, major advance.
President Trump making that dramatic announcement late Sunday that the FDA has authorized the use of convalescent plasma for emergencies. But now some Democrats are demanding answers, asking if the FDA is being pressured by a president locked in a tough re-election battle.
The decision for emergency use comes after an internal debate at the FDA over whether the agency had enough data to authorize such a move. It also comes a day after the president, without any evidence, accused the FDA of impeding clinical trials for political reasons. Tweeting Saturday, the deep state, or whoever over at the FDA, is making it very difficult for drug companies to get people in order to test the vaccines and therapeutics.
God damn. Trump hasn't bullied nerds this hard since he forced one to take his SATs for him. I mean, we all want a cure for COVID, but new medicines shouldn't be rushed out to the public like they're Taco Bell menu items. And I mean, of course Trump has a problem with the FDA. They're the same ones who told him how many calories are in his burgers. If these things are 800 calories apiece, then how come I can eat 10 of them? Still, let's try to be positive here. Even if these treatments aren't proven safe or effective, maybe they'll work and coronavirus will be gone. And then, the only reason we'll need to wear masks is to hide our brand new mutant faces. For months now, the CDC has been saying that the key to getting the pandemic under control is testing, testing, and more testing. And then yesterday, something changed.
After months of telling Americans that if they're exposed to someone with the coronavirus that they should get tested, the CDC is now saying there's no need in most cases if you have no symptoms. And the New York Times is reporting that the change was ordered from the top down by the president, who believes that bad numbers are meant to hurt his re-election campaign and has said over and over that more tests drive up the numbers of COVID-19 cases. The nation's top infectious disease doctor, Anthony Fauci, says this was done without him. He was under anesthesia and surgery when this was approved.
This is the shadiest thing I have ever seen. President Trump is apparently sabotaging America's coronavirus response because he doesn't like the look of high case numbers? This guy's special. Because clearly he doesn't care if a problem is solved. He only cares if it has the appearance of being solved. I wouldn't be shocked if all the fire extinguishers in these buildings are just painted on. Ah, we need to get, who would do this? Who would do this? And if that wasn't bad enough, they waited until Dr. Fauci was having surgery before they did this. Guys, come on, man. I can't believe that Trump went behind Fauci's back while the man was in the hospital. That's like cheating on your wife while she's pregnant, which Trump also did, so never mind, I guess I can believe it. Although, now it finally makes sense why Trump kept offering to buy Fauci a boob job. I think you should consider it, Anthony. A lot of people will pay more attention to you. In fact, just thinking about it, I'm paying more attention to you right now. So big. But this is why, my friends, from now on, we cannot afford to have Fauci unconscious for any reason. No surgery, no sleep, no watching Mike Pence give a speech, nothing that knocks you out. At the very least, if Fauci is incapacitated, we need like a mini Vice Fauci who can take over at any time.